Viewers, the government announced new UGC regulations in order to curb discrimination faced by students from reserved categories in universities. Now, as per the new rules, all higher education institutions are required to form a committee on campus to address complaints related to caste, discrimination, and ensure equity across the institution. So let's understand what the new laws actually do and why there are changes and why there is so much debate about it. First and foremost, it expands the definition of discrimination itself to include race, place of birth as well. Apart from that, equal opportunity centers have now become mandatory in the universities, educational institutions across the country. Apart from that, these institutions will also handle complaints by SC, ST and OBC, especially abled and women also being included in this purview. Apart from that, and this is one of the bigger changes that have been brought into the rules, there will be punitive action if the colleges don't comply. And the recognition, the UGC recognition of the universities can also be withdrawn. The move has triggered protests from the general category students who argued that no separate provisions have been made for them. Protesters also alleged that the regulations could lead to an increase in complaints from reserved category students and weaponization of these rules.
क्या जनरल सवर्ण के लोग क्या ST, SC, OBC पे अत्याचार कर रहे हैं? अगर ऐसा कुछ हो तो आप जांच करते, जांच के बाद कानून लाते।
क्या इन्हें ये UGC वालों को दिखाई नहीं दे रहा है कि इससे कितने भेदभाव पैदा हो जाएंगे, कितनी नफरत पैदा हो जाएगी?
जो जनरल कैटेगरी के बच्चे हैं, जब उनके साथ शोषण होगा तो वो किसके पास कंप्लेन करेंगे, ये भी मुद्दा है। अब ऐसा लग रहा है कि ये कानून आने से सामान्य वर्ग के जो छात्र रहेंगे है ना, वो थोड़ा सा दोस्ती करने में या फिर कुछ बोलने से है ना परहेज करेंगे या फिर सोचेंगे।
So these are some of the protests that broke out. The students were very concerned about the kind of changes that these rules were bringing. It's also crucial to understand how these regulations will be implemented. Now remember, from being a guideline, this becomes a regulation, which is why there are these protests. Now, higher education institutions have been mandated to have the equal opportunity centers, equal committee squads as well. Apart from that, the role is going to be to oversee the policies for the disadvantaged groups and coordinating with the district administration as well as the police officials. So it's going to be a 10-member committee chaired by the institution head. 5 of its members must be from reserved categories, must meet within 24 hours whenever there is any complaint that is filed. So if there is a complaint, there is a time-bound action that needs to be taken, including meeting within 24 hours. They say that it has been constituted to prevent discrimination on campus and must remain mobile and visit the vulnerable spots as well. Now, no one can deny that discrimination does exist in the campuses. In fact, in the last few years, 5 years, there has been a 118% increase in reported cases of caste-based discrimination on campuses across India. Now, this statistic alone tells us the problem is real. Now, you'd also remember Rohit Vemula, the PhD scholar in the University of Hyderabad, or Dr. Payal Tadvi, a young resident doctor in Maharashtra. Both died by suicide. Both were linked to allegations of caste-based harassment. It was their mothers, in fact, who knocked on the doors of the Supreme Court, demanding stronger safeguards and accountability, and led to the formation of these new regulations. So, discrimination does exist, yes, and it must be fought, yes. But the question is, do the new UGC rules actually fight discrimination or not? Because it seems like they replace one injustice with another and turn India's universities into laboratories for this reverse discrimination. Listen into Kanchana Yadav of the RJD and you will realize the fault in this framework. It leaves the general category students vulnerable to being falsely framed.
आपको इस आधार पर फंसाया जाना चाहिए कि आपने कभी भी इस देश के 90% OBC, SC, ST बहुसंख्यक जो आबादी है, जो माइनॉरिटी है, उसको आपने उसका हक नहीं दिया.
So, amid the growing outrage, the government also assured protesters that no discrimination will be allowed, while the opposition questioned the move, saying the new rule will further divide society. Udit Raj of the Congress party says that there appears to be a major political conspiracy behind the new UGC rules.
किसी को उत्पीड़न होने नहीं दिया जाए, कोई भेदभाव नहीं होगा, कोई डिस्क्रिमिनेशन के नाम पे किसी को भी मिसयूज करने का अधिकार नहीं रहेगा। और ये जो विषय आई है ये तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट की निगरानी में व्यवस्था है, किसी के ऊपर भी अत्याचार या किसी को भी भेदभाव नहीं किया जाएगा।
बीजेपी को कोई नुकसान नहीं है और नाराज किस बात के लिए होंगे। सामान्य वर्ग मंदिर बनाने की बात किया, मंदिर बनवा दिया एनडीए सरकार ने। 10% आरक्षण की बात किया, आरक्षण भी सरकार ने दे दिया। तो नाराज काम कहाँ नहीं हो रहा है।
यूजीसी ने जो ये एक फैसला किया, मुझे नहीं लगता है कि यूजीसी के अधिकारियों ने क्या सोच के ये फैसला किया, और मुझे नहीं लगता है इससे कोई अर्थ निकलता है, इसका कोई मायने नहीं निकलता, इससे किसी को लाभ नहीं है, ना ही सवर्ण को, ना ही ओबीसी को, ना ही एससी एसटी को, किसी को कोई लाभ नहीं है।
ये बेसिकली एससी एसटी ओबीसी को आगे नहीं आना देना चाहते हैं, गुलाम बना के रखना चाहते हैं, वोट के लिए ये हिंदू हो जाते हैं। तो ये सरकार अगर इसकी नीयत सही है तो मैं कहूँगा कि अपने लोगों से विरोध कराना बंद कर दे, वरना ये चाल न चले कि सवर्ण से विरोध करा दे और उधर एससी एसटी ओबीसी के लोग खुश हो जाएं। तो ज़्यादातर सवर्ण समाज के लोग इन्हीं भी परिस्थितियों में वोट बीजेपी को देंगे और उधर एससी एसटी ओबीसी का वोट भी बीजेपी को मिले। तो मुझे तो लगता है कि यह भी एक साजिश हो सकती है।
एजुकेशन मिनिस्ट्री कंप्लीटली फेल हो चुका है और मोदी सरकार ने कंप्लीटली आरएसएस का हाथ में एजुकेशन डिपार्टमेंट दे दिया। उसी वजह से यूजीसी का यह हाल हो रहा है।
हम लोगों ने लगातार कहा है कि कास्ट सेंसस होना चाहिए, कास्ट सेंसस में ये सारे इश्यूज रिजॉल्व हो जाएंगे।
यूजीसी ने कुछ गलत नहीं किया। यूजीसी ने जो अन्याय हो रहा था उसकी शिकायत करने के लोगों को मौका दे दिया, बस और कुछ नहीं।
उत्तर प्रदेश में लगातार ब्राह्मणों के साथ जिस तरह से नाइंसाफी हो रही थी, हर कदम पे नाइंसाफी हो रही थी, हर विभाग में नाइंसाफी हो रही थी, तो उसको लेके जो मजिस्ट्रेट हैं अग्निहोत्री जी, उन्हीं ने रिजाइन दिया है।
Whatever is being done is already too little. It is not giving confidence to the people from the backward and the oppressed society.
My colleague Dev Kotak is joining us on the broadcast with the details. And Dev, we've seen massive protests taking place and we've also seen a spate of resignations. But after the protesters met the UGC officials, they were told 15 days. The government is still deciding on the same, that their grievances will be taken to the government. What are the details? What are the assurances that have been given to the protesters, and why have they been protesting, claiming that these rules can be weaponized against them?
While the 15-day deadline was given and they were asked for time, they did not adhere to that. Today again protests are expected at the Delhi University Arts Campus. The faculty, not the faculty, but the students, the angry and the miffed lot are going to be protesting against around 11 a.m. today. Also, this comes in the wake of Union Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan also assuring and saying that, this will not be misused in any way, and it is being done in a constitutional manner and within the framework of what the Supreme Court says, as the matter is with the apex court. But however, there is an angry and a miffed lot that is saying that this is going to be used against us and further give impetus to caste-based discrimination, especially in cases of, Bombay's BYL Nair College deceased student who committed suicide, Dr. Payal Tadvi, or Rohit Vemula, a PhD scholar in Hyderabad. So, these are the kind of details that we have at this point in time. But the matter is extremely serious. They clearly say that the EOC, the Equal Opportunities Cell, is meant and is being created for a reason, actually. This will provide round-the-clock redressal and round-the-clock helplines that will be available for students who are, So these are the details that we have.
So there are some concerns for the students. Now, the government has also clarified that this will not lead to any discrimination on campus, but there are some concerns, which is why the protesters have asked the UGC to look at the rules again. Dave, thank you for joining us with those details. We'll come back to you. More protests expected today. We are breaking up.